A stone baby is a rare phenomenon which occurs most commonly when a fetus dies during an abdominal pregnancy. Mergo is the Yharnam stone. He is a stone baby. And although Mergo is dead in the waking world, his spirit is trapped in the nightmare of menses. A wet nurse is a woman who breastfeeds an infant when the child's biological mother cannot. I think Mergo's wet nurse is doing just that. She is keeping Mergo's spirit sustained in the nightmare of menses while preventing anyone from getting to him. Mergo's wet nurse looks very costumey. She has layers of draping, feathers, bracelets, all that stuff. On the one hand, the veil she's wearing and invisible face could be referencing real life. Specifically, Victorian-era photographs of mothers with their children, where the mother's face is cut out or covered by a cloth. Linda Fragni spent a decade collecting Victorian photographs of faceless mothers. She has a whole book filled with them, called The Hidden Mother. On the other hand, the wet nurse's whole look could be referencing in-game lore. Her invisible face could be alluding to the formless Odin. Her arms could be a throwback to the spiders or the amygdalas. Her weapons could be a reference to the burial blade used by Gurman. Her wings look like a feathered cloak Eileen could wear, while the bracelets and amulets look like knockoffs from the decorative old hunter garb, which has all sorts of breast trinkets. So either the wet nurse is a one-woman cosplay mashup, or she is actually a fusion of different components found throughout the dreamlands and the waking world. Keep in mind that the menses scholars may have fused things in the past, like the crow dogs, for example. Taking all that information into account, I think it's possible that the menses scholars created or dreamt up the wet nurse in order to keep Mergo sustained and trapped in the nightmare of menses while waiting for Kos to show up. Although the wet nurse looks pretty threatening, she really isn't. The menses scholars are probably better intellectuals than they are fighters. Mikulesh does spend the entire fight running away, which means they may have used all their book smarts and intuitive understanding of Great Ones to put together an intimidating-looking wet nurse. But, because they lack combat experience, the scholars could not make her a worthy foe. Queen Yharnam is Mergo's mom. Her projection appears outside Mergo's room. Yharnam and the wet nurse are probably not on good terms. The wet nurse is seemingly preventing Queen Yharnam's projection from seeing her baby while keeping Mergo trapped in the nightmare. After the hunter kills the wet nurse and frees Mergo from the nightmare, Yharnam bows to Mergo's savior and disappears. If Yharnam and the wet nurse were on the same side, I think the wet nurse would have liberated Mergo herself. She would have at least let Yharnam's projection in the room. And if the wet nurse was doing something positive for Mergo, then Yharnam would probably not be thankful to the hunter for slaying the wet nurse. Of course, it's always a possibility that the Yharnam stone is not Mergo at all, and Mergo is actually formless, and that we don't free Mergo's spirit, but we actually murder him, and that Queen Yharnam is actually a psychopath who thanks us for murdering her child, and that the wet nurse is actually Odin, and that Odin is actually the doll. But that type of thinking is not Snack Covenant approved, so it's not canon.